for your blessings on this meeting, Lord, and thanking you for your blessings for allowing me to serve on such a prestigious board, Lord, that makes heavy decisions once a month on behalf of our kiddos and our community. I pray that you lead and guide us tonight in that endeavor, and I pray most importantly that you find us in your will. And in Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Prayer or pledge? Yes.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I jumped the gun. Hold on. We're almost at 6.
Start singing.
Bill offered to sing for us, but he hasn't started yet.
Do it next time.
It only takes one. Everybody else follow.
I have 6 o'clock. I call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
All right. Thanks to everyone for being here tonight. We appreciate you. Minutes of the special board meeting, May 28th, 2024. Does anyone have a motion with regards to approving those?
I'll make a motion we approve the May 28th meeting minutes.
I'll second it.
All right. Roll call, please. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Financial reports, encumbrances, maybe change orders.
Hopefully no change orders that I know of. If you will turn with me right past the minutes, it's on blue. It's the May financial reports, and we'll start looking at the general fund. If you look with me for the month of May, our revenue was up from last year, and our expenditures were also up from last year, but we know that we have increases because of the salary increases. And then if you will look with me at the fund balance for May, from last year, we are up a little over $1 million, which is very good news. I do want to explain something to you, because if you keep looking down, you're going to think we are really looking good. Because if you look at May of 22, you can see there's a large difference in the expenditures and then the fund balance. And so last year, in the month of May, we paid payroll for May and June. In the previous years, we had paid all 4, May, June, July, and August. And so this year, we decided to keep it consistent from last year so it's comparable and you can kind of see the differences. But that is why there's such a huge difference between FY24 and FY22, is because there's 2 extra payrolls that did not get taken out in May. And I have, since we've ran those 2 payrolls, so I know what that amount it is, and it's approximately $2.3 million for those 2 summer months there. And so if I subtract that out with the extra expenditures, our fund balance would be approximately 1.9 in FY24. So that is still greatly up from FY22 and 21. So we're still looking very good in our general fund as May 31st. If you'll look with me, I just want to explain why we do that, is because we have to have everything paid out by June 30th. So we can't not do those. We have to do them by June 30th. So it's just kind of a timing issue when you want to do it May, June, spread that out. So our building fund, our revenues are for the month of May was our ad valorem and some interest. Our expenditures for the month of May are still really low, as we have several capital improvement projects that have started right now, and so when they start hitting, that building fund will start decreasing. Our child nutrition for the month of May, the revenue and expenditures are really staying very consistent between now and last year. And so that's what we expected to see, and so our child nutrition, fund is really staying very consistent between last year and this year. And if you will flip that over to our May year-to-date balances, and if we look at our general fund, our revenues for our year-to-date are up, and our expenditures are up as well. and the expenditures are mostly due to the increase in salaries and some property insurance. Our revenue is also up because we got an increase in our state aid with the salary increases. Again, just make a note that we only ran May and June in the last 2 years, so you know that there's extra amount that's coming out there. I also have done a preliminary carryover, and I'm projecting about 2.8. That's just a projection for our general fund carryover. Hopefully, it'll be closer to 3 million because we should still be getting our state aid this month, and it depends on when some federal funds come in. If they come in this month or they come in July, that amount can vary. So we're hoping 3 million, but it may be closer to 2.8 as a carryover in general for next year. Okay. If you look with me in our building fund, our revenues are what we expected to be, and we should still be getting a red bud amount, come in this month is when it should come in, so that amount should go up. Our expenditures, they're still low, but that is because our capital improvement projects hopefully will be completed, some in June maybe, and the rest of them will probably really hit in July. So our building fund, we may have a large carryover for June 30th, but then when we come back in July, we may have spent $1 million. So when we come back in July, it may tell us more information after the summer months are over on our building fund, what's actually sitting in there. Our child nutrition is staying very consistent. We have a really good, Cindy Anson is a really good child nutrition director. She has done a really great job. She works with OPA. She works with the State Department to really keep our child nutrition where it should be. And I know that she's thankful. I'm thankful that you've already allowed us to hire next year a clerk that can come in and help her. We have 5 sites, but I think she has like 6 locations that actually serves the food. So she has a lot on her plate to keep up with. And so child nutrition, if you look at the fund balance between FY24 and FY23, it's like a $2,000, a little over $2,000 difference. So she's really kept it steady there. And we have purchased a lot of things that has been needed this year. So we're doing really good in child nutrition this year. And then like our total operation, it's still way above, what it was last year, because you can't really compare the other 2 years at this point, but we're still up there and we have a really good operating balance. Just a reminder though that ESSER's going away. So in our general fund, we expect like a 1.5 million hit there because of ESSER funds. But we'll still monitor expenditures and try to keep everything as low as we can. Possible anyway, so.
And on child nutrition, it's my understanding that we qualified for assistance next year up through junior high?
Through 8th grade. Yep.
7th, 8th grade, yeah.
Yeah.
So, that'll make
and
a
that
huge...
is a huge win, and like I said, Cindy works and gets numbers in, and she stays on top of everything, and it's, having some help in there for her is really gonna be great, so.
And so, obviously lots of efforts to get all those forms
Yes.
in, and thanks to parents for getting those in this year to be able to help us out with
and
that.
that is very appreciative to, the sites have to help her collect the secretaries, the principals, everyone does their row and trying to get all that information in during enrollment time. And she keeps on top of everything, and she communicates with the principals and the secretaries, whoever she needs to communicate with on that. Yep.
That's great news.
Yes. And then, the next few pages is all the detail for all of our funds. So if you'll go actually to the next blue sheet, just kind of keeping it on blue. This is our activity fund, and if you flip it over to the back side, it has our balance that's in our activity fund, and it's $657,803 that's still sitting in our activity fund as of May 31st. And then the purple sheet has our general fund encumbrances, and there are 3 pages, but I just want to let you know that we are trying to close things and not open up a lot of POs, but most all of this is like summer school things that we have to purchase, transportation, all the maintenance so that they can work on the buses. There's a lot of that in here. And then there's some ESSER funds that we need to get approved so that we can hopefully use all of our ESSER funds before June 30th and get that closed out if possible. There's not anything that's really large on here, so I really don't have any POs that I was going to point out. If you see anything, I will help explain anything or any questions you may have, though. The pink sheet is our building fund, and there's only one encumbrance there, and that is on our houses. And this came in a lot lower than I expected, so that's good. But it's on our 2 houses to tear them down and actually haul it off, so it should look good for that. Yeah. And then the next one is the cafeteria. There's just a little bit of office and some cafeteria supplies that we need, and then our normal OPA PO there. And then the last one on the gold sheet, that's our bond. And both of these are for the doors, like connectors to be able to get in and out of the doors. The first one is 2 doors at SEC, and the last one is at the Ag building to get those finished up. Does anyone have any questions for me?
If there's no questions, I'd entertain a motion to approve both the financial reports and the encumbrances.
I move we approve both.
I'll second his motion.
All right, roll call, please.
Heck,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
McGee,
Yes.
Adams.
Yes. Discussion and vote to approve or not approve an amendment to renew the Food Service Management Company contract renewal for school year 24-25.
So that's a yearly item. OPA is the third party that we use. Every year they have a max allowable of 4.2% as an increase, and that was put in place this year. So $3.72 to $3.88 for lunches. So small increase.
Does anyone have any questions or comments with regards to this contract or amendment to this contract? If not, I'd entertain a motion with regards to this contract.
I'll make a motion, we approve it.
Is there a second?
I'll second his motion.
Roll call, please.
Yocum,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
McGee,
Yes.
Adams.
Yes.
Heck,
Yes.
Discussion and vote to approve or not approve board policy.
Yeah, so this is the DEE-R policy. This is a quarterly policy. Oh, sorry, no, that was FE policy. We'll get to that one in a little bit. This is the, in our policy committee, we've been going through a ton of policies. This was one of the policies that we felt like we needed to go ahead and get it updated. This policy takes $35 a day max reimbursements, and for meals, it changes that to 30 and 50, so 50 max for the day, 30 max for a meal. It's hard to go and not spend over 20 bucks in a, evening meal. So putting a max at 30 for a meal is good, and then if someone has multiple meals, 35 bucks wouldn't cover that probably. So we had made that change from 35 to 30/50, and then also if we have people using vehicles, we want them to use our school vehicles first. If there's no school vehicles available, then they would be normally be reimbursed at 45 cents per mile. So we've changed that amount to be the IRS rate. So it changes consistently, but whatever that IRS rate is what we would be paying per mile. So we do have the 2 new Kias, so we're trying to improve our fleet so people feel comfortable driving our fleet as opposed to driving their own vehicle. And that's going to be the preference. And the DEER policy does state that they have to drive our vehicles before we pay. So if there's no vehicles, then we'll pay. So, and there's also in there, it had the hotel limit of $300 unless approved from central office on the front end. So there's exceptions on that, but we want to make sure that we're all being good stewards of the taxpayer money.
Anyone have any questions? Anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve the travel expenses.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Discussion and vote to approve or not approve a workers' compensation insurance vendor.
Yeah, so OSAG is our workers' comp insurance. It went up from $49,000 last year to $54,000 this year, approximately a 10% raise. Going over the last several years, we tried to look and see if there's a pattern. They fluctuate all over the place on the OSAG. There were years that they went down, other years they went up. So it doesn't seem like the 10% is abnormal. But with that, there's really not very many options for us when we're talking workers' comp insurance or regular insurance for Poto Public Schools. So they are who we've used, and we'll recommend that we use them again.
Feel like they're the best option for our school.
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone have any questions?
I move we approve workers' comp insurance.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 All right. Discussion and vote to approve or not approve a resolution for the district insurance coverage. Nope.
No, yeah, that's a long one, sorry.
All right. Sorry, y'all have to hear me for a minute. We have received a bid from our current provider for an insurance package that includes buildings and contents, boilers and water heaters, bonds, professional legal liability, general liability, and vehicles. The resolution is as follows. Whereas Oklahoma Schools Insurance Group is an interlocal formed in accordance with the Oklahoma law to enable Oklahoma school districts to cooperate with each other to procure insurance services, benefits, and insure against losses and possible liabilities in the most effective manner. And whereas Poto ISD is an Oklahoma public school district. And whereas OSIG has provided to the district a plan document which includes a quotation for certain insurance coverages for the 24-25 plan year. And whereas the quotation is acceptable to the district. Now therefore be it resolved that the district hereby joins OSIG as a member. Be it further resolved that so long as the district remains as a member, the district shall comply with OSIG's bylaws, the plan documents, and OSIG claim reporting procedures. And be it further resolved that by the adoption and signing of this resolution, Poto ISD understands and agrees that school district members are responsible for their own loss experience and will not be singly responsible for other members' losses.
Okay, so this is the item that over the last couple of years has really fluctuated, and we've had some really big gains in this one. So this year, in order to continue to manage their losses, quote unquote, what they're doing is they've raised deductibles. So Poto Public Schools will have a $50,000 deductible on every claim if we make a claim. It was $5,000, and that was an increase last year to $5,000. We don't have any other options. I talked with Zach today about a buy down. You can buy down to a lower one, but obviously we got to run the math and see if it works or not. So from OSIG standpoint, every client in the state, if they're over 1,500 students, is going to be $50,000 deductible. Every client in the state under 1,500, so all of our little local schools around us are now $25,000 as a deductible. So really, this has turned into a catastrophic insurance as opposed to what we've been using it as a traditional insurance. So I will say that our rates over the last couple of years, FY24, here, I'll go all the way to 20. FY20 was the last time we had a low increase. It was 7%. FY21, it went up 25%. FY22, it went up 14%. FY23, it went up 35%. That was the $150,000 gain. In FY24 last year, or the end of this current year, it went up 16%. This year, we saw a $15,000 raise, which is 3.2%. So at least they are giving us less of an increase. We went up in $5.5 million in property. We have a total of $116 million of dollars worth of insured property and auto. So we did see a significant gain. So the 3.2% raise with the $5.5 million in extra property is probably pretty legit. So they really didn't increase us like they have over the last 5 years. But once again, that deductible raise is going to have a massive impact. If you look through there, you'll see we had 11 claims over the last 5 years. Well, some of those we probably still would have had. Like, if we had a massive leak in a building and we're gonna have to redo the whole building, that still would have been a massive claim, but now we'd be paying $50,000 out of our pockets to get that done. So, it is what it is. There's not very many options. Zach was in today, and we were griping at him about all this, even though it's not his fault. He's the insurance agent that's for our area. So this is going to be our strategy. When you go back and look at the money they had sitting in their coffers, the insurance company, OSIG, it's $6 million now. Last year was $2.5 million. So they have had some big hits. I'm going to feel like next year at this time, they're going to have a lot more sitting in their coffers, because when you take out all these, people aren't going to making claims, just like us. We've made 11 over the last 5 years. The next 5 years, we might make 2, so we're taking out a lot of our claims. And then when we do make claims, they're getting $50,000 off right off the top. So there's just not options on insurance. If there are other people in the state, I'd be able to bring different people to you and say, hey, here's the differences. But much like OSAG, there's just not options for us on insurance.
When was the last time that there was a legitimate competitor? I know they went under, and so that was why schools weren't really utilizing them.
This is my 5th year as a SOUP, and I do not ever remember having a competitor with OSIG. So, any other questions on OSIG?
Well, we need insurance. Anyone want to make a motion?
I make a motion, we approve it.
I guess I'll second it.
Roll call, please. Yes.
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 Discussion and vote to approve or not approve the FE policy.
Yes, this is the one I was thinking of earlier. So the FE policy, that's our quarterly transfer policy. You'll see in there. We did increase some of our numbers. KN1, we have additional teachers, so those numbers raised a little bit. We did have 5th through 8th grade raised just a little bit as well. So basically, we've got everybody kind of in line throughout our district. So high school, if you remember, high school had raised their numbers at the last quarter in preparation for June 1st. So.
And so you feel like this keeps us within lines on being able to accept those transfers and be competitive with the new laws that are in place?
Yeah, I think we're still going to be pretty maxed out at, I would say most of our district's still going to be maxed out. I think the secondary level is going to be able to get some transfers, which could help on that piece. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see where we're at, and we might get to the next quarter and decide we need to move them again. But we'll be interested to see what this does. We are anticipating more transfers this year. I mean, if you remember last year, we denied 50 transfers district-wide, so we won't be able to deny that many this year. So we are expecting more students, which will affect us at midterm next year. So.
And then just, I'm not sure that I remember when everybody got on, but understanding that we do look at this quarterly and adjust those numbers as needed.
Yep. And that's part of the new state. When the state came in and said that they were managing transfers, this is part of that. So we have to board approve it 4 times a year.
Are there any questions about any of that? If not, I'd entertain a motion with regards to our FE policy.
Motion we approve FE policy?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Contracts for services for 23-24, number 1, or 24-25?
It should be 24, 25.
J&J School Services and Follett?
Yep. So J&J, we did them. We had them last year for the first time. That's Impact Aid, if you remember. So Impact Aid is where we get funded through local ad valorem. That's one of our funding sources. So if you have Native American housing or you have military housing, some type of housing where you're not getting ad valorem, like there's no taxes on those, then this is a federal subsidy basically coming in and backfilling the money we lost through Native American or through military. You have to meet a threshold to get it. We were short last year, but we're going to run it again because I think we'll be pretty close this year, and hopefully we'll get it this year. But we got new housing going in that I think will put us over the top on Impact Aid, which will be a nice revenue stream, another revenue stream for us if we can get it.
Great.
Follett, that's our library organization system, so we manage our library books with Follett.
Anyone have any questions about either of those contracts? If not, I'd entertain a motion regarding both of them if it's the same motion.
Make a motion, we approve both J&J School Services and Follett.
Is there a second?
I'll second his motion.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Discussion and vote to approve or not approve a transfer in the amount of $34,572.59 from the Insurance Recovery Fund to the Building Fund.
Okay, that would be me. So in our insurance recovery fund, we have that $34,000 sitting there. It's really to do with this building, the VLK, because when it did get flooded, we did do a claim on it, and then we went in with some of our ESSER funds to create what we have now. So those funds are just sitting there, and so we can transfer those with your approval into our building fund, and so we would still be using them on a building fund type project. It just wouldn't be limited to this facility.
I move we approve.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Thompson,
Yes.
McGehee,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Heck,
Yes.
Yocum.
Yes.
Discussion and vote to approve or not approve activity fund transfers.
And so if it's on the blue sheet in your packet, the first one is for, we want to transfer from what we had called the 941 banquet to the 940, which is our community fund drive. So in years past, the previous cafeteria director had set up banquets, and we have not done those. Not since I've been here, and I don't know how many years before that. And so that money's just been sitting there. So we would like approval to actually move that into our 940, which is our community food drive. And that is the food drive where we pass out baskets to the families that are in need, and we get that list from like our counselors at each site. So we just want to be able to move that fund and use that money for the community now. The next one, if you flip it over, is we actually have two projects. One was the 905 senior class, and the other project was a 904 junior class. And we're just proposing to actually move the 905 to the 904 and call it the junior senior account. Instead of having two project numbers, just have one, because they're using it for everything that they need in that junior senior. So. And it's mostly do like prom stuff and maybe anything that the seniors might not need that year. And then the last one is 924, which was called the Tri-M Music to 917, which is vocal. Again, this 924 has not been used, and so we would just propose to move the funds that are in 924 to 917, which is the vocal, and allow her to use those funds.
Anyone have any questions about any of those transfers? Not, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, we approve it.
I'll second.
All right, roll call, please.
McGehee,
Yes.
Adams,
Yes.
Heck,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Discussion and vote to approve or not approve surplus items.
Yeah, so you have two different lists in there. One is from the primary and one is from technology. Still working through trying to get a lot of our surplus gone. So we still have a lot of work to do in that area.
Anyone have any questions about any of the surplus lists? Anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve it.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please. Yes.
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 All right, facilities report.
Yeah, so Devin's out today on vacation, and so let me kind of go through, fill you guys in on where we're at. So the high school gym, the ceiling panels have been installed in the back gym, and they are making a lot of progress on the front. They had to take a break because we had a basketball camp, but panels are looking really good. If you haven't got a chance to stop over at the gym, you might yell at me and I can take you in there and show you. It's going to be really nice once we get that piece done. High school hallway demo. This is for the emergency responders to be able to get into that middle section. Shop drawings for the doors have been submitted for approval. We're waiting on that. So we're kind of step one on that. High school marquee will be installed by the end of June, hopefully. High school parking lot paving project will be completed by the end of June, hopefully. And then the high school football field turf replacement proposal has been submitted. And so we're kind of waiting on steps with that as well. So making progress. The PKMS epoxy flooring project, floors in both hallways are being prepped, holes filled, sanded, and ready for the epoxy coating. The PKMS roofing project, materials are being delivered June 28th, and we're hoping July 1 we can start on that project. We've got to get that done in 1 month, and they said that they could do it, so we will see. The elementaries sidewalks have been widened at the east end of the primary. New carpet is currently being installed in the kindergarten and first grade building, which is really needed too. I'm excited to see that new carpet over there. 2 new exterior door lock mechanisms have been ordered for the upper. We found out we had some issues with our exterior doors, so it's going to be a little bit before we can get those in and get those done, but they have been ordered. District-wide, Devin had met with John Ford to work on getting Knox boxes put in throughout our district. So we do have Knox boxes set up, and so if you're unfamiliar with what that is, it's basically a box that the emergency responders would have a single key for all of them in our area, and that key would open it up and give them keys for our facilities. So it should allow them to respond to emergencies better and more efficiently. We've been working with a company called Helix Intel on implementation of computerized maintenance management system for Devon. And this is a free service paid for by OSIG, so should modernize some of our operation stuff, so excited about that piece. And then transportation, we did not get the 10 buses we were hoping we would get. We did not. We do have another round coming up. Deadline for applications is July 25th, and we will be getting we'll meet the deadline and hopefully get the new buses at that point in the next round. But that's the facility report. Does anybody have any questions on facilities? Okay.
Jump into your superintendent's report.
Yep. So administration is going to COSA summer conference. It starts on Wednesday, so we'll be there quick. The policy committee, I wanted to touch base on this piece. We've been grinding, so some of your colleagues on this panel have been a part of that policy committee. We divided the policy book into 5 sections, so for the last 5 months we've been going through that. We have completed it. I've got a completed copy with all the changes in my office that when I go up to COSA, I'll be dropping that by the OSSBA office, and we'll see. They've got to go through it all, and it could take 6 months for them to finally get something back to us. And then when they get it back to us, we got to review it again, make any additional changes, get it back to them, they make the changes, and then hopefully, I would say first semester, but it might be spring before we actually get the new policy book. But really excited. Going through it with the committee has been really eye-opening on where we're at, what we need to get done. So I sure appreciate the committee on all the work there. We've had summer camps going. We had cheer. We got girls basketball, or we've had girls basketball. We got cheer. We've got football camp started today in Arkansas. So I've been talking with parents this summer, and I've had some really good conversations with parents just about the quality of our coaches and where our programs are going, not just athletics, but FFA and others as well. So really excited about where we're going as a school, trying to get better across the board. We have closed on 3 properties now that you guys had approved for us to purchase. We closed on those Friday. So we do have keys and access to all 3 properties. So we're going to get rolling on that piece of the project, and really excited. I think there are really good opportunities for Poto Public Schools to expand in the future. So that's all I got on superintendent's report, unless somebody has specific questions. Okay.
Any new business?
We do. We have 2 items on new business. We have a high school social studies hire that we need to make. That is in your packet. And that individual would be Daniel Upton. And then we have a 3rd grade position, that individual will be Jacqueline Emmert. So Daniel Upton for high school social studies, and Jacqueline Emmert, Emmert, for third grade.
All right, anyone have any questions about either of those hires? Anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve them both.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. All right, I'd entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Make a motion, we enter executive session.
I'll second it.
All right, roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. All right, 6:34 PM. right, the board met in executive session to discuss personnel items and discuss the purchase of real property, and no other matters were discussed as authorized by Title 25 Oklahoma Statutes, Section 307B1 and 4 of the Oklahoma Open Meeting Act. Those present were the board members and Mr. Kipnick. The board did not take any official votes or actions in executive session and returned to open session at 6:49 PM. Vote to approve or not approve employment for the 24-25 school year. Mr. Kipnick, you want to give us those names?
Do we want to vote to approve or not approve resignations first?
Oh, we could do that, sure. Anyone want to make that motion?
I'll make that move.
All right,
I'll second it.
roll call, please.
Yes.
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 All right, now you vote to approve or not approve employment for the 24-25 school year.
Yep, so we have Cody Krabs as SEC custodian. We have Charlie White for lay coach there. We have Carson Cheek as lay coach. We have SEC math teacher Sherry Pound. We have custodian 1 at the high school, Brindy Joe Hopkins. We have custodian 2, Holly Lanigan. And we have ag teacher James Marshall that we would be recommending.
Do we have a motion with regards to that, those employment?
I move that we approve the employment of those names.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second his motion.
All right, roll call, please.
Yes.
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 All right, next is adjourn. Anyone want to make?
Adjourn.
All right,
I'll second it.
roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes.